Coming up on today's episode of Airborne Unlimited. Today, August 29th, is a big day in the world of small UAS operation. General aviation pilots pitch in to help. Is it possible the International Space Station is on the auction block? I'm Bree Cross. It's August 29th, 2016, and this is Airborne Unlimited. August 29th is a big day as it relates to recreational and non-recreational small remotely controlled aerial vehicles as the new FAR 107 is being implemented. Now let's take a quick look at how all of this is affecting commercial use of unmanned aerial vehicles and recreational use of all sorts of remote controlled aircraft. Recreational RV flyers have previously operated under an FAA advisory circular and a public law describing what they can and cannot do as hobbyists. Now the advisory circular and the public law still exist, but FAR 101 has been rewritten to also include the definition of recreational flying as a new regulation. Up until today, non-recreational use of remotely controlled small unmanned aerial vehicles, which means under 55 pounds, have been regulated through FAA waivers. While these waivers can continue to be used a while longer, FAR 107 replaces the need for a waiver for non-recreational use, also referred to as commercial use, and it creates a new pilot certificate. But even FAR 107 doesn't tell the whole story for non-recreational use. The FAA has also included the capability for commercial operators to operate under FAR 107, yet they can be waived from following all of its provisions. So waivers still exist, but for a different purpose. And here's the real kicker: if a recreational RV flyer steps out of the bounds of FAR 101, they can now be found by the FAA to be not in compliance with that regulation and be held culpable for not complying with FAR 107. It's going to get interesting, and we'll keep you posted. The spirit of general aviation can still shine brightly when needed, as is such the case with individuals in general aviation taking things into their own hands to help provide flood relief on the Gulf Coast. A group of pilots from Gulf Coast Aviation operating out of New Orleans Lakefront Airport flew some $300 in emergency supplies to Ryan Airport in Baton Rouge, Louisiana, to assist with flood relief efforts. A report appearing on No La Vie Online indicates that the makeshift airlift involved two Cessna 172s belonging to Gulf Coast Aviation a week ago, and that more supplies were planned to be delivered over the last weekend. It's reported that one of the pilots was Matthew Kahn, a senior at Newman High School, who began flight training in 2012. He said that as the word got around, other companies at the airport offered to help as well. After the break, the space station could possibly end up in private hands.
Concorde's recombinant gas RG series sealed battery technology produces a high-performance battery with the advantages of being pre-tested and fully charged at the factory. Find out more about Concorde's entire line of batteries at www.concordebattery.com. Concorde, the heart of your aircraft.
There's a difference between charting a steady course and pushing for the ceiling. And for nearly a century, Hartzell Propeller has been defining that difference. It's in our passion for engineering and research and our dedication to testing the limits of performance. We are built on honor. We are Hartzell Propeller.
Welcome back. If you would like to be a supporter of Airborne Unlimited, send an email to jim@aero-news.net. If owning your own space station is on your bucket list, things are looking up. With NASA looking beyond low Earth orbit towards the Moon, Mars, and asteroids, it is very unlikely that it will continue to operate the International Space Station beyond 2024. So what does a federal agency do with an aging orbital laboratory? NASA Deputy Associate Administrator Bill Hill gave a hint to the station's fate, and it does not include deorbiting the station and splashing it into the ocean, as was the fate of Skylab. Hill said, quote, "NASA's trying to develop economic development in low Earth orbit. Ultimately, our desire is to hand the space station over to either a commercial entity or some other commercial capability so that research can continue in low Earth orbit." While it seems that NASA is primarily looking at its continued use in private hands as an orbiting laboratory, it's not hard to visualize how other commercial space travel ventures could come up with innovative uses. We'll just have to wait and see. Each week, we share with you an online video that one of our viewers found especially entertaining. We call it our Aero Video of the Week.
Final liftoff of
200.
Airliner windshields are FAA approved to survive a bird strike under strict certification criteria. Upon viewing this video of a bird strike, our ANN splatter meter indicates that the bird was probably well under the FAA-approved 4-pound limit. Search Birdstrike near 50 feet on YouTube. After these messages, the Southwest Airline Pilots Union is not happy.
Redbird Flight Simulations is dedicated to revolutionizing flight training by designing, manufacturing, and delivering affordable and innovative flight training technologies. Each Redbird device is designed to enhance the training experience for pilots of all levels, from student to ATP. Redbird is quickly becoming the industry standard for flight training. Since Redbird introduced its revolutionary FMX in 2007, colleges, universities, and flight training operations around the world have integrated Redbird products into their curriculum. It's time to discover what Redbird can do for you. Join the migration.
Sandia introduces the new SAI 340 Quattro TSO'd airspeed, attitude, altitude, and slip. With integral backup battery, safety never looked so good. See it now at www.sandia.aero.
Welcome back. With so much news coming out of the aviation industry, we're summarizing some other interesting stories in a brief segment we call Around the Patch. Pilots from the Southwest Airline Pilots Association gathered Wednesday at the Dallas Love Field Airport terminal to stand together in an informational picket to display their dissatisfaction with the carrier's management. They have been working for more than 4 years without a contract. And more news from the Southwest Airlines front is that Randy Babbitt, Senior Vice President of Labor Relations for Southwest Airlines, is retiring after 50 years in the commercial aviation industry. Babbitt spent the last 4 years leading the carrier's labor relations team. Last week, contact was reestablished with one of NASA's Solar Terrestrial Relations Observatories, known as the Stereo B spacecraft. Communications were lost on October 1, 2014. We suspect it was time for the spacecraft to call home. It's reported that Prince Harry has traded his military uniform for a civilian flight suit. The Daily Mail newspaper reports the prince is assisting in an effort to thwart elephant poachers in Africa. He is flying in Lawan National Park in northern Malawi. Japan's All Nippon Airways will cancel some of its Dreamliner flights due to an issue in the Rolls-Royce engines that power the aircraft. It's reported that ANA says engine compressor blades are showing signs of corrosion under certain flying conditions. Well, that's the trip around the patch. Now let's move on to the rest of the news. As airliners get more efficient, older airplanes get put out to pasture, except the pasture is usually an arid desert where they can mostly survive the ravages of weather, just in case. Such was the fate of 20 American Airlines MD-80 airliners last week, according to a report appearing on QZ.com. The airplanes made their final flight to the Boneyard at the Roswell International Air Center in New Mexico. It was one of the largest such retirements ever, according to the airline. American still has some 61 MD-80s in its fleet that a spokesman said would continue to operate until at least the summer of 2018. The airplanes average about 23 years old compared to about 10 years for its other airliners in its fleet. Well, that's our program for today. Remember that Airborne Unlimited is streamed daily Monday through Friday with additional breaking news bulletins for important stories that fall outside of our normal deadlines. If you're watching us on YouTube, please subscribe and check us out on Facebook and Twitter. Get comprehensive real-time 24/7 coverage of the latest aviation and aerospace stories anytime at aero-news.net. We'll see you tomorrow.